Hey, I'm Michael Jospe with Earth-Based Institute, and today I wanted to put together a video that answers a question that I often get, which is, what is nature-connected coaching? And, sometimes that is a hard thing to describe. So I'm going to do my best in this video here to try to give you a good understanding of what nature connected coaching is. And so you can begin to think about how this fits into the work that you want to do with people. So I think a real simple definition of what nature connected coaching is that it's a way of collaborating with nature as a professional coach. So first is this idea of professional coaching and the skills of coaching and how we bring nature into that work. Okay. So it's more to me for sure, it's more than just coaching outside. Like anybody can sit outside under a tree and do a coaching session, but that's not what nature connected coaching is. It isn't about just being outside and coaching. Okay. It's about collaborating with nature. Okay, so and on that end, it's more than just a therapeutic type of experience as well. And there's coaching involved in it. So it's about both a therapeutic experience in nature, but it's about taking that therapeutic growth and applying that into your life. Okay, so that's really where the coaching piece comes in. Now, a more technical definition of what nature connected coaching is professional coaching skills and techniques that are combined with intentional encounters with the environment that are designed to create awareness and encourage new behaviors and transform beliefs. Okay, so that's more of a complete definition of what nature connected coaching is. So these encounters that we're talking about with the environment is that these are created in the moment, okay, with the client, and they're based on the client's goals. That's a big part of coaching, right? Is to be able to help your client identify what their goals are and then help them work towards that goals. These encounters with nature are part of that process. They help the client move towards achieving their goals. And so a standard coaching session, you might have, like if we take the nature connected coaching piece out of a standard professional coaching session, you would, in the beginning of that session, you get really clear about what the goals are, and you would help the client be start to gain some insight in terms of how they're going to work and achieve those goals either inside of the session or outside of the session, and then you're going to help them put together some tasks and next steps that they can follow to help them move towards those changes in their life. And what I've discovered is that, it's very hard to do that. It's very hard to be successful in between the coaching sessions. And so I found that nature really helps increase people's success in between the sessions. And I'll tell you why here. Because with a nature connected coaching session, what we're doing is we're getting clear about what those goals are, like in the beginning of a coaching session, right? And then what we're doing is we're taking the awareness of what those goals are and how those goals need to change inside of somebody, and we're bringing in an encounter with nature that is going to help them get some practice and experience with that new way of being that they're trying to get to. And then from there, we can help them create some steps that are going to help them implement that into their life in a more effective way. So that is one of the core differences here in nature connected coaching. There's a lot to nature connected coaching. I'm going pretty quick and through some of the bigger pieces here, but just again, so you can have an example of what this is. We're going to get to that. I'll kind of walk you through an example so you can see, but so you can begin to use this in your own life. Now, the what's fascinating for me here as a nature connected coach is how the environment begins to transform as the person begins to engage with it through the lens of their goals. the environment starts to change. They start to see the world around them from a different perspective, and that becomes really important. Certainly when if you're out on the land, because nature interacts in all different ways. You got sounds and movement, colors and animals and birds and weather and wind and all that. All of these things start to engage with the client in a very powerful way. So there's a lot that goes on inside of our nature connected coaching sessions. So an example here would be, I'm going to look at my notes so I can, make sure I can stay pretty succinct with this. Is let's say you've got a client, okay, that is wanting to improve their communication skills. For some, that's the goal, general goal that they have. Maybe they've been given that feedback that they need to work on that in some way, or they've just realized that they're struggling. So you're going to guide them through a process that's going to help them identify really what is in their way of effective communication skills. And then and let's say as you go through that process with them, you discover that there's a deep-seated belief that their voice doesn't matter. Okay. And that they agree that transforming that belief is going to make a huge difference in their ability to communicate. Okay. So you're going to help them then develop a version of themselves or a vision for themselves creates kind of a felt sense of that their voice does matter. And what we call that the deeper need in at EBI. Okay, so with that deeper need, we have a new possibility, a new way of being. All right. And so instead of digging in to where that negative belief originated from, we're starting to put goals and actions around moving into something different. We want to start to create a a powerful resource for them that they can draw on as they move forward in life. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to understand the origin. It's just that's not the focus of coaching unless that is what the client wants to do. But as a coach, you're not going to guide them back into their past. You're going to guide them forward into their future. Okay, so what you'll do now when you have that kind of deeper need, like in a coaching session, right? We've got this new version of themselves. We have the opportunity to invite them to engage with their environment in a way that helps them experiment with this new way of being. So perhaps they're in a forest or something like that. They could start to express this new way of being into a safe place like to a tree or something like that to try it on for the first time, and in that they're going to learn so much about what's possible for them. And then afterwards, you're going to help them identify all of the different learning components that they have gathered from that experience and help them figure out how they're going to start to practice that in their day to day. So you've just given them a huge boost towards success, and nature gets to play a huge role in that process with them. And that has a lot of different implications to it. So nature, like I said, nature's always kind of teaching in unique ways. There's so much going on in the landscape, and we just can't predict all of the different ways that it's going to interact and inspire. But the lessons are always so profound. And, one of the questions that often comes up for me, or when I'm talking to folks and, training folks is, can you do nature connected coaching over Zoom? And the answer is absolutely. Well, I do it all the time because it's about connection to the environment. And there's a lot to this answer, but just real quick, it's about connection to the environment, engagement, I should say, with the environment that the client is in. Nature is everywhere. You are nature. And there's a lot to that statement too. But nature is everywhere. Okay. So as long as the client can start to engage with this new way of being in some form of another in the environment that they're in, your nature connected coaching. Okay. And now there's nothing that beats being out on the land. Sometimes I'll have my clients take their Zoom call out on the land. And I can see what's going on and I can be there with them if I can't physically be there with them. But we'll get into how to do Zoom and all that at another time. But just wanted to give you this picture here of what nature connected coaching is and how you could start to jump into practicing it and giving it a try with people. So let me know what questions you have. Feel free to drop in any questions of like, well, how would you work with this person or with this kind of scenario, that kind of thing. And I'd love to play around with those different ideas. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day.